This audio presentation of You Are God is broadcasted to you courtesy of MindworthyInfo.com and is presented to you by yours truly, Rasheeal Dixon. The purpose of You Are God is to break down the Bible and to show you that the Bible is nothing more than allegory, and it isn't meant to be taken literally. But throughout the ages, men has been taking the Bible literally, and by doing this, they have diminished the true mystical fact that lies within the Bible. You Are God is here to break down the Bible piece by piece and to show you that all the characters, places, and events are nothing more than different states of man's consciousness personified as characters, places, and events. Brothers and sisters, I thank you so much for joining me for another installment of You Are God. Please come on over to MindworthyInfo.com and subscribe to the newsletter. It's always so sweet and so amazing, jam-packed with teachings. Family, I want you to also stop by YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Mystical Thinking with Rasheeal Dixon. It is wonderful, and it will also help awaken your third eye and awaken that God that lives within you. Today, we're going to discuss an individual who many will regard with high regards. They will put him in a high level and place him on a pedestal. They will look at him as the individual who took his people from the land of bondage and brought them to freedom. He will also be looked at as a guy that is known for parting the sea. And if we look at him closely, we will see that he was a leader and an amazing individual, as many will look at him as. We're going to talk about a man named Moses. And when we talk about Moses, the individual who looks to an outside God will believe that he was a figure who lived thousands of years ago. But if we look at it from a mystical sense and from a biblical metaphysics sense, we will see that a man named Moses is just another state of consciousness. A matter of fact, Moses is the first state of consciousness that one enters, because Moses actually means to draw out or to pull out. And when you're drawing out that Moses consciousness, it is the first state of consciousness that you enter that is drawing out your inner being and your I am. As when Moses was speaking to God, and God and Moses had that conversation, and Moses was like, "What am I going to tell the people that your name is?" And God responded and said, "Tell your people that I am hath sent me unto you," as seen in Exodus 3:14. So now when we know that it's a state of consciousness that is aligning man with his true inner being, we know that Moses was also found by the Pharaoh's daughter. She rescued him from the Nile. The Nile is a large body of water. In the Bible, water is a representation of consciousness, as water is the only thing that will take the shape of any vessel that it is poured in. Same way that your consciousness will take the shape of anything that you constantly dwell on. It becomes you. If worry and anger and misery is all you input in your consciousness and you keep on giving yourself this, the world will also shape in that same form, in the same vessel. So we see how important water is in the Bible. And the Pharaoh's daughter was the one who rescued Moses, who led his people to freedom from her own father, who was also the one that had them in bondage. And we know that Moses, he was buried in a valley in the land of Moab, and no one to this day, no man knoweth of his sepulchre unto this day, or where he is buried, as seen in Deuteronomy 34:6. The reason why no body or nothing can be recovered, because Moses is buried in every individual, and it is up to that person that is trying to be one with their I am to draw it out and understand that this state of consciousness can get them out of bondage, and they can find their true being by the Nile, which is the consciousness that will help them, and they will leave the bondage that is holding them back. You must also know that Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eye was not dim, nor his natural face abated. Deuteronomy 34:7. Moses to draw out this spirit. He was 120 years old. So 120 means the end of flesh. The end of flesh means you are no longer living by the flesh, but you are now living for the spirit that you're drawing out that's going to make you become one with your I am. And most people live by the flesh. The flesh is just the mere mortal being that they live by, and what they see in the world, they allow it to come at them 1,000 miles an hour, and it continues to hold them back and prevent them from truly exploring their consciousness that will free them from any bondage or any situation or any sense or any feeling of being less than what they should be. In Hebrew, Moses also means Moshe. And we translate Moshe to Moses. And we know that in Egyptian, Moses means son. The son that is the son that you give birth to, that frees you and is the state of consciousness that you draw out that will bring you to the land of your happiness. So many are unaware to this. Many don't even realize this, that Moses, that 120 years old Moses that died and lives within every individual that wants to draw it out. 120 also has something else in it. You put the 1 and 2 together, it brings a Trinity. We know the Trinity as the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, or that is what they teach us in these regular churches and everywhere, while to the mystic, they will know that the Trinity is nothing more than the awareness and the person understanding the power of this awareness that they must give reverence to and hold it close to them and trust in their imagination that gives them what they want. Abated means of something perceived as less hostile or threatening, become less intense or widespread. So his eyes was not dim, nor his natural face abated. Moses allegedly here now in the text, he died 120 years old with his eyes not dimmed. He was awakened and still able to see and understand what was going on. It's like you, when you get to 120 and know that you are at the end of flesh and you are awakened to the spirit that lives in you. And even if everything seems like it's going bad, if you truly believe in what you imprinted in your imagination, it will always become life, because you will force it and you will bring it to life, because it will become you, as consciousness, and what you dwell on is everything. Moab means from the Father. The Father is your awareness that you father, that creates everything that gives you joy or gives you misery. So Moses being buried in the land of Moab, and Moses coming from the Father, which is that wonderful awareness, and being 120 years old, which is the end of the flesh, when you walk into the spirit and you know that I am have sent me unto you, and you are walking into your true light of who you are. This is a mystical concept that we see, and many don't get it as they should. And when you don't get it, you wind up lost. And the more lost an individual winds up, they go through life almost like a vagabond, as a nomad, as someone who is always trying to find their way, but they never could find it. But those who know these mystical teachings see it as an amazing story. And the authors wrote it in a way where only the illumined, or the person who seeks and scratches and goes beneath the surface, will get it. Because those are the true seekers in life, that seeks the truth out of their life. Everyone has their own version of truth. But if this truth is going to help you, it will be something that you draw out. And you will be at the end of flesh and in the presence of truth, which is a spirit like no other. And you will get out of any bondage that you have and enter into your promised land. Brothers and sisters, I want you to think about that and understand that. I'm going to leave you with that little piece. And if you want more, please come on over to mindworthyinfo.com and subscribe. We have a lot of teachings on that site that can help you. And stop by YouTube, Mystical Thinking with Rasheeal Dixon, and know that you hold the power and this world is yours, and whatever you do with it will be what you will get out of it. So you choose on how you want to use your power. Think about that, family. I thank you for listening. I thank you for getting in this small snippet in this dose of teachings, and I hope you are more aware, and I know that you will build yourself as you go along. Remember, you hold the power, and you are God. Now, until next time, family, may you all have a good one. Now, let us go into the silence. Goodbye.